All right, so apparently Disney and Universal sue AI generator Midjourney, calling it a bottomless pit of plagiarism. Yes, giving all of these different versions of their what the why is there a black dude? Well, some of these look interesting. All right, it took longer than expected, but it inevitable finally has happened, which I am very shocked by this. The Walt Disney Company and NBC Universal sued AI image generator Midjourney today, alleging that the company has trained large language model on unauthorized copyright works owned by the two companies. Yeah, no crap. Like just like the ones who make music, they keep trying to say that no, we haven't been feeding this thing. I'm like, bro, these things are generating things that seem awfully close to published work. Cause I remember I was doing something. Well, I wanted a angry Mickey Mouse, right? Because I was doing a thumbnail. So if I typed in Mickey Mouse, it would tell me that it can't do that. But if I describe Mickey Mouse, then it would actually draw Mickey Mouse based off of my description of him. And it was the same thing I did. I was doing a bunch of clip art for like, I was trying to do a sports channel and I wanted to make a bunch of clip art for like the Lakers and all that stuff. I couldn't type in the Lakers, the Dodgers, or anything like that, but I can describe like Dodger colors. And if I put Dodger colors and I put that as a baseball player, they would actually draw me a baseball player dressed in Dodger uniform. So it's kind of a way around a lot of this stuff. Again, I'm not trying to sell none of this stuff. I was just one trying to figure out how to use these things, and two, see what I could actually do. So, and I've seen stuff like that where it's like it's drawing the thing. So, in order for this thing to draw the thing, it has to have something to reference it from. So that means that it actually has to have pictures of the thing that you're trying to do. So they skate around it. They seem to, I ain't gonna say whether or not it's true or not, but they seem to skate around it by not letting you specifically ask for whatever the thing that you're trying to do. But if you figure out how to ask for it, it will give you what you're looking for the most part. I would recommend you finding someone who can draw and have them just draw exactly what you want. That way you can draw like something that'll be close, but it'll get out of the copyright stuff. All right. All right. Unauthorized copyright works owned by the two companies is Hollywood's first major copyright infringement related legal action against the generative AI company. And it's notable that Disney and Universal, which are traditional competitors, have teamed up to pursue this legal action. In a complaint filed in U.S. District Court of Los Angeles, the companies claim that Midjourney sells an image generating service that functions as a virtual vending machine, generating in this unauthorized copies of Disney's and Universal's copyrighted works. And this is when it gets a little sketchy because you can make whatever the thing that you want, but are they concerned about people trying to sell it? Because if you're trying to sell like Buzz Lightyear on just your version of Buzz Lightyear, that's dumb. Because then you can get sued for that. But they can't possibly own like a space guy. So how close do you have to be? And this is where this gets interesting. It's like in terms of music, we've had different issues when it comes to music. We've had where was it the what's the thing? What's the name of this song? Robin Thicke with Pharrell and T.I. It was sued by the Marvin Gaye's estate. And the judge came back with this ridiculous thing that allowed them to take money from that song because the song sounded too, even though the song wasn't a direct copy of any of Marvin Gaye's songs, the vibe was too close or something weird like that. And which is stupid because Marvin Gaye didn't own that vibe. They had other artists who did similar types of music to that at the time. It it wasn't Marvin Gaye, but it was close enough. It was like a vibe. So, and that's what the way that song was. It was a vibe. So I'm quite sure they was sitting in the studio one day. It was like, I would love to do a song that's in like a Marvin Gaye type groove, and that's what they created, a Gaye type groove. You don't get to own that, but for some reason, this judge decided to give them the money from the song. And what's crazy is they tried to sue Ed Sheeran a little bit later for a similar type of thing. And Ed Sheeran just basically sat in court and played them a bunch of songs using the same chord structure, but were different songs. But it was the same chord structure, and chords are just basically a bunch of notes together. So when you play one chord and then another chord, you'd be surprised at how many friggin' popular songs use the same chord structure, but they use different instruments. And sometimes they even use the same instrument, but like there's there's hundreds of different types of pianos, guitars, yada yada yada. So if you use the same chord structure, the song will sound, it could sound similar because it's the same chord structure, but it's how you play it and the tempo and all that stuff that changes what the song sounds like. So that's what I'm curious about. This is like, I don't like, unless someone's actually selling the stuff, is like, are you going after, I don't know if they're just trying to, like, I have no idea what the hell they're trying to get out of this. Because the AI thing is out of the box. That's just gone. So systematic, ongoing, willful, said that the company has not implemented any measures to stop users from recreating its copyrighted assets. Like his founders previously admitted that the interview that he wasn't selective about the materials he used to train this model, just big scraps of the internet. We weren't very picky. Like I said, a lot of these things won't let you specifically ask for a whatever. Like my example with Mickey Mouse. But if you describe Mickey Mouse in your prompt, it will give you Mickey Mouse. But and I'm not too familiar with Midjourney, so I don't know if Midjourney does that. But the one that I use, yeah, it did that. It's like, yeah, you just ask. It's just how you ask for it. All right. Holmes further said that they stole artwork from millions of artists without permission. There really isn't a way to get 100 million images and know where they're coming from. The companies described Midjourney as a quintessential copyright free writer in a bottomless pit of plagiarism. Animation plays a huge role in the lawsuit. Disney and Universal cite many examples of the animation IP being reproduced by Midjourney, including Disney and Pixar animated features, Shrek, Despicable Me, okay, okay, backward does the visual. So yeah, so this is Disney's thing, and this is the Midjourney output. Midjourney, yeah, but are they selling it? Because hmm, Horacio Guterres, senior vice, I'm bad with names, chief legal and compliance officer for Disney, said in a statement, "Our world-class IP is built on decades of financial investment, creativity, innovation, investments, only made possible by incentives embodied in copyright law that gives creators an exclusive right to provide profit from their works. We're bullish on the promise of AI technology and optimistic about how it can be used responsibly as a tool to further human creativity. But piracy is piracy, and the fact that it's been done by AI company does not make it any less infringing." I mean, I don't know how you like. I'm not sure how you where we go back at from here, because if they're training their AI based off of stuff that they're pulling off the internet, they're just pulling up images. So I have no clue. So Disney and Universal sued demands Midjourney pay for damages, but a figure is not provided in its initial filing. The companies are also aiming to prevent Midjourney from releasing its upcoming video generator without appropriate copyright protection measures to prevent such infringement. Midjourney has not responded to the media about the lawsuit. Do we have any comments? I'm usually on the side of the underdog, but the AI doggy just isn't under enough for my liking. So good luck, Disney. Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about. Someone needs to explain why thousands of pieces of ordinary fan art that do exactly this aren't liable. That Midjourney is monetizing this, something that the fan arts typically doesn't do. And Midjourney is a commercial entity, not a single fan doing something for fun. But uh, see, this is where it gets a little murky because they don't actually have, they got like the copyright laws for AI is kind of murky. It's because you're basically using a bunch of other people's stuff to generate the thing. You can't really, as far as what I understand, you can't really copyright it because you're not actually making anything original to be copyrighted. So I I don't know. AI uses extra copyrighted content, often charging a subscription fee, while fan art is created out of love, emotionally starvation. They are making 200 million a year, like Midjourney, though companies will send you cease and desist and a copyright claim to do catch you selling fan art. So you shouldn't sell it because that's just stupid. Okay, so I'll explain. So thousands of pieces of ordinary fan art that do exactly this are liable, and Disney can sue for copyright infringement for fan art. Just like Midjourney, that's the too long didn't read version. I'm not gonna read that. Yeah, we're at this weird spot where I don't know how where we go from here because clearly the companies are interested in the AI stuff because it can generate things for them without them having to deal with humans.